A very good evening everyone. I really hope you all doing great and staying absolutely safe as well. उम्मीद है आप सब बहुत शानदार होंगे बेटे. Please do let me in the comment section if I am clearly audible to all the people out there. अगर मेरी आवाज़ आप तक क्लियरली पहुंच पा रही है प्लीज़ मुझे कमेंट करके ज़रूर बता दीजिए. एंड आई एम श्योर दैट टुडे अगेन यू आर गोइंग टू हैव अ वंडरफुल एक्सपीरियंस. आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा, बहुत कुछ जानने को मिलेगा इस सेशन में. सो प्लीज़ डू लेट मी नो जो भी मेरे साथ यहाँ पर लाइव जुड़ चुके हैं बेटे सेशन में. जैसे कि निर्धारित समय था 7 बजे, तो एग्जैक्ट 7 बजे हम लोग यहाँ पर इस सेशन को लेकर आ गए हैं आपके समक्ष. IAS ओरिजिन की पूरी टीम की तरफ से मैं आकाश ने आप सबका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करना चाहूँगा इस सेशन में. नाउ दिस सेशन इज़ वेरी बेसिक. ठीक है, कल पार्ट 1 किया था, आज हम पार्ट 2 करेंगे. बट मेरी कोशिश यही रहेगी कि आपको किस तरह से एक बेहतर अंडरस्टैंडिंग जो है वर्ल्ड मैप्स के प्रति दी जाए. वर्ल्ड मैप्स को क्या इंपॉर्टेंट बनाता है, इसमें से क्या एक तरह से इंपॉर्टेंट एक थीम्स निकल कर आती हैं, वो सभी चीजें हम लोग यहाँ पर बढ़िया तरीके से करेंगे. एंड आई एम श्योर कि इससे आपको एक बेहतर जो क्लैरिटी है, या कहते हैं हम लोग कई बार बेहतर अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, वो जरूर से जरूर मिलेगी. तो एक बार फटाफट से मुझे कमेंट करके बता दीजिएगा कि हु ऑल हैव जॉइंड मी इन दिस सेशन. कौन है जो मेरे साथ यहाँ पर इस पर्टिकुलर सेशन में लाइव जुड़ चुका है बेटे, ये मुझे फटाफट से कमेंट करके बता दें. आई कैन सर्टनली सी अ लॉट ऑफ नेम्स. काफ़ी तो फेमिलियर लोग ही हैं एंड कुछ नए लोग भी मुझे देखने को मिल रहे हैं यहाँ पे इस पर्टिकुलर सेशन में. सो आप सबका बेटे तहे दिल से मैं स्वागत करना चाहूँगा इस सेशन में. एंड मेक श्योर यू शेयर द सेशन विद योर फ्रेंड्स सो दैट दे कैन ऑल्सो टेक फुल एडवांटेज ऑफ दिस वेरी सेशन. आई हैव अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट अनाउंसमेंट टू मेक इन दिस सेशन. एक बहुत बड़ी अनाउंसमेंट है जो कि मैं यहाँ पे इस सेशन में बेसिकली करना चाहता हूँ. इस सेशन के माध्यम से मैं इस अनाउंसमेंट को करना चाहूँगा. नाउ व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज दैट अनाउंसमेंट, मैं पहले आपको बता दूं, ठीक है, कि कौन सी अनाउंसमेंट है जिसकी मैं यहाँ पर बेसिकली बात कर रहा हूँ. वुड लाइक टू बी टेलिंग यू दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग एज वेल. देखिए, आप में से बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स पूछ रहे थे व्हाट अबाउट द फ्री बैच. हेलो पीयूष, हाय द्रिगा, हाउ आर यू डूइंग. चलिए, वेलकम टू द क्लास. सो बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का एक डाउट था, रेकरेंट डाउट था अबाउट द फ्री बैच बेसिकली, जिसके बारे में काफ़ी चर्चा भी की गई थी. तो मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि IAS ओरिजिन पे बेसिकली वी हैव अ फ्री बैच. ये बिल्कुल फ्री है, लेकिन आपको अगर ये बिलो फीचर्स चाहिए, जैसे यू वांट रिकॉर्डेड एक्सेस, यू सर्टनली वांट द नोट्स, यू वांट PDFs, you want tests, study material, everything if you want, you have to just pay 20,000 only. This is what the plan is. So basically it is all free of cost if you just want to attend the live classes every day. अगर आप रोज लाइव क्लासेस को अटेंड करना चाहते हैं तो वो बिल्कुल फ्री है. लेकिन अगर आप इन फीचर्स को अवेल करना चाहते हैं, इन फीचर्स को लेना चाहते हैं, then you have to be joining this particular batch. I hope the idea is absolutely clear. ये जो बेसिक पॉइंट है ये आपको यहाँ पे अब क्लियर हो गया होगा कि मतलब you just have to pay in order to get these particular accesses. I hope it's clear. समझ आया बेटे? इतना सिंपल पॉइंट है. तो सेशन को अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ मैक्सिमम शेयर ज़रूर करिएगा सो दैट वो भी कहीं ना कहीं यहाँ पे इस सेशन का भरपूर फ़ायदा ले सके. मैं देख पा रहा हूँ तुषार यहाँ पर आ गए हैं, अंकुर इज़ देयर. चलिए, बहुत बढ़िया. सो ये काफ़ी खुशी की बात है कि जो रेगुलर स्टूडेंट्स हैं हमारे, दे हैव ऑल कम अप एंड वो कहीं ना कहीं यहाँ पे इस सेशन के साथ जुड़ चुके हैं. मानव शुक्ला इज़ ऑल्सो देयर. चलिए, अब आप एक चीज़ नोटिस करिएगा, व्हेनेवर वी टॉक अबाउट द वर्ल्ड मैप, तो वर्ल्ड मैप पे क्या है, हमारे पास बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर्स होते हैं, तो फिजिकल फीचर्स होते हैं. अब उसके अंदर देखो कोई भी इंपॉर्टेंट पीक्स हैं, पहाड़ियाँ, वी हैव गॉट इंपॉर्टेंट पीक्स. अब ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज बन जाती है. कोई भी डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जो पीक्स हैं ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड हैं, वो आपको थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया होना चाहिए उसका. एंड जिसने भी अभी तक सेशन को लाइक नहीं किया बेटे, हिट द लाइक बटन, ऑल द पीपल आउट देयर, ताकि आपकी लाइक वीडियोस में जरूर ऐड हो जाए. दिस शुड बी एडेड टू योर लाइक वीडियोस द मोमेंट यू हिट द लाइक बटन. सो जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स में से जुड़े हैं यहाँ पे इस सेशन को लाइक जरूर कर दीजिए. हाय साई प्रतीक, हाय श्वेता. या डेफिनेटली दिस क्लास इज गोइंग टू बी इन इंग्लिश. So firstly, beta, you got to know that what all do you study in the world map. Whenever we talk about the world map, so what all do you study in the world map? This is very much important, है ना? So this is a basic doubt which I encounter most of the time. कि sir, in world map, what exactly are we supposed to study or what exactly are we supposed to read? So I would like to tell you, whenever you try to decode any world map, the very first thing should be in your mind that how do you focus on the peaks? How do you focus on the ocean currents? Different things are there. So this is certainly going to be of immense importance. ये बात याद रखेगा. Though this class is the part 2, but I'll definitely be covering the basics of it. Basics of it still will be covering, so don't worry about that. So ये This particular thing is very much important, that you should know where exactly is which peak. If I certainly, talk about a certain peak, you should know where it is. St. Helens, you should know it's in North America, as simple as that. If somebody asks you, where is Kilauea or where is, West Moy, you should know it's in Hawaii Islands. So basically, we have to know about the prominent peaks. Of course, you can't know everything under the sun, but we have to know a basic idea we have to have about the prominent peaks. That's very much important. I hope the idea is absolutely clear. Got it? Moving ahead with it. Now, keep one thing in your mind. Whenever we talk about, different, we talk about volcanoes which have been in a lot of news. They again are very much important. You should know with respect to India, which country is where. That is very much important. We'll talk about the political map as well. This is basically the physical map. So this is basically India, you know that. This is India, as you all know. So now you should know that in the Southeast Asia, what exactly we have got. We have got various volcanoes. Anak Krakatau is there. Jakarta ke paas, we have got Anak Krakatau. We have got Mount Sinabog. We have got Semeru. So these are very much important. Indonesian volcanoes, they come in a lot of news. So these are certainly important. Somebody asks you, where is Mount Kilimanjaro? You should know it's in Tanzania. That is Africa. You have to have a basic idea. If you talk about, Kirishima, it is where? It is basically in Japan. So I am just trying to tell you this basic idea that we will be studying all these things. We are going to be covering all these points in the basic format, which is very much important. So I'll try to give you a basic clarity. So what I have done is, I have prepared basically, chart, and that particular chart is going to help you guys a lot in decoding this. I'll just show you. For example, when we talk about the important volcanoes of the world, so what do? We basically see like, okay, Mount Cotopaxi. Where is Mount Cotopaxi? You should know it's in South America. It's basically in Ecuador. Okay. If somebody asks you Chimborazo, where it is again in Ecuador. So you should know these are both in Ecuador. Where is Ecuador? Ecuador is in South America. If somebody asks you Aconcagua is Chile, Argentina border. Again, where it is? It's in South America. Are you getting my point? So basically, this is how you read the world map. So it is not a random thing. You are not supposed to read it in a random way. You have to have a proper way in which you are going to be decoding that particular thing. But hey, please keep this in your mind. Do hit the like button if you are enjoying the session. If you are gaining something out of the session, do hit the like button, everyone. सब लोग सेशन को लाइक जरूर कर दें अगर आपको ये यूजफुल लग रहा है तो. That's what I would be requesting. Having said that, now putting things into perspective today, keep one thing in your mind. For example, these are the kind of the questions we have seen in the previous years as well. So that is why, you can get the pairs questions or match the following questions. So you should be in a position to answer them precisely. I'll show you more as well. So you can take a screenshot or you can make your notes as well. That's totally up to you. But these are very much important from the exam point of view. From examination point of view, these are certainly very much important. For example, I'll tell you something. At times, this comes in a lot of news as well. Whenever we talk about, Mauna Loa. So Mauna Loa is where? Hawaii. Very important this is. So you should basically know that whenever this Mauna Loa is coming in news, it is basically in Hawaii. It's a state of US. Whenever we talk about the Mount Kilimanjaro, it is there in Tanzania. Whenever we talk about the Mount Merapi, it is there in Indonesia. I just showed you. When we talk about the Barren Island, it is the only active volcano which we have in India. It is the only active volcano which we have got in India. That is again very much important. Are we on the same page on this? So basically, this is how you're supposed to study maps. That's precisely the way. And I'll also be telling you some tricks in which you can integrate that precisely. I'll tell you a lot of mnemonics. I'll tell you a lot of tricks in which you can study it in a better way. Are you understanding these things precisely, all of you? मतलब समझ आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Please do let me in the comment section. Chalo, I'm glad that things are amply clear to you guys, because again, as I've told you, what is more important is your clarity. That is of utmost importance. Chalo, thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Moving ahead. For example, we talk about at times Mount Etna. It is where? It is in Europe. Very important it is. Vesuvius, it is in Italy. Basically, these are in Italy only. Stromboli. So basically, you have to understand this thing, that these are the active volcanoes which we've got in Europe. Europe ke andar, these are the active volcanoes which you find, and they are certainly of much interest for the tourists as well, and of course for various researchers. They come here and they certainly study them as well on regular basis. Okay, on regular basis पे they do study them as well. Chali, moving ahead. I hope we are on the same page, everyone. Now, for example, what now I'm going to show you is going to literally, be of much interest to you guys. Just see that very clearly. Can you see this on your map, everyone? I hope it's very much visible. This is what we call Great Lakes, hai na? Must have heard about them. Great Lakes. On the US-Canada border, you have these Great Lakes. Pata hai? Here we have Canada, here we have US. Must have heard about it, everyone. So when I talk about the Great Lakes, a lot of people find a lot, challenging to remember this. How do we remember this? How do we keep it in our mind? How do we retain that? That becomes a bit of a struggle. That becomes a bit of a challenge. So basically, what you are going to do is, you have a look. Now, what all lakes can you see? Lake Superior is there, Lake Michigan is there, Lake Huron is there, Lake Eyre is there, Lake Ontario is there. Sorted. So basically, what you got to do is, you got to just learn a trick, and the trick is here. What is the trick? Can you see that? Superheroes must eat oats. I hope the trick is very much visible. Now, when you talk about this trick, super से क्या हो गया superior, heroes से क्या हो गया Huron, must से क्या हो गया Michigan, eat से क्या हो गया Eyre, और oats से क्या हो गया Ontario. So I think what you can do is, you can link all these lakes with this particular mnemonic. All the 5 Great Lakes, all the 5 Great Lakes, you got to link with a particular mnemonic, as simple as that. Superheroes must eat oats. So Superior, Huron, Michigan, Eyre, Ontario. This question at times come to you that how exactly are you going to match them? So you have to have a basic idea. You have to have a basic knowledge about this thing. This is very much important. बात समझ में आ रही कि नहीं? See, again, what is more important is that your learning is very much important. Your clarity is certainly very much important. If you don't have the basic required clarity, it will certainly be a bit of a struggle for you. So clarity is very much important, and trust me, the clarity will come with this thing only. Only when we are, focusing on these things, you are going to have a basic level of clarity. So please do keep this thing in your mind, that how do we generate that level of clarity. That is very much important. Got it? Any doubts for that matter, please do let me know, all of you. So for example, at times, this question comes in your examination about the Caspian Sea. You can have a look. This is what? This is the Caspian Sea, as you can see. So when you talk about the Caspian Sea, you have to remember a trick known as Tariq. So what is Tariq? T stands for Turkmenistan, A stands for Azerbaijan, R stands for Russia, I stands for Iran, and K stands for Kazakhstan. So basically, you have to understand it is T-A-R-I-K. So Caspian Sea ko, if you have to remember the bordering countries or the neighboring countries, what all countries are surrounding it, you have to remember it by the trick, and trust me, it works 100%. Most of the time you will be seeing it working. That's very much important. So keep this thing in your mind, that whenever we talk about this Caspian Sea, this trick is going to come handy. We have to know it is Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Russia, Iran, and Kazakhstan. As simple as that. You can make a note of it. You can take a screenshot as well if you want. So that is what I'm trying to tell you, that whenever you're studying the world map, you have to study in such a manner that you're not going to forget things. Whatever you studied, it should be retained by you. Only then it is of any advantage, right? नहीं तो पढ़ने का फायदा ही नहीं अगर आप याद नहीं रख पा रहे हो. If you are not able to retain that, it is of no use to you. Always remember this point. So we have to keep this in our mind all the time, and trust me, that is what certainly matters. Is that clear or not? Please do let me know in the comment section. See, let's keep the comment section very much active. Why do I say that? Because only then you are going to learn something out of it. Thank you, Rajiv, Tushar, Vipul, Sai, Sweta, Manav, Ankur, Drigha, Piyush, everyone who all have joined in. That's great to have you all here. Okay. So I'm hopeful of one thing, that this session certainly is giving you some clarity on things. That's of course very much, and trust me, that is the main motive of this session. Got it? Sorted? Okay. Now have a look at this map. Can you see that? What do you see in the map? This is Black Sea. Now Black Sea mein, if you have to see the neighbors, you will type the burger. The burger. Perfect. So when you do the burger, the basically is what? Turkey. B stands for Bulgaria. U stands for Ukraine. R stands for Romania. GE stands for Georgia. And again R stands for Russia. Can you see that? So when I talk about the burger, you are able to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 countries again we have. And these countries are surrounding what? They are surrounding the Black Sea. It is the BURGER. That's it. So you have to firstly know that 6 in total are surrounding the Black Sea. We have got 6 countries in total which are surrounding the Black Sea. That's one thing. And then basically you do it as simple as that. So it's very basic, it's very to the point. That's what you need to keep in your mind. समझ आ रहा है ना? It's very simple. Trust me, it's very much simple. Things may seem a bit complicated, but if you apply your brain, it will be absolutely fine. Simple and straightforward point this is. So always try to make sure of this thing. Whenever you study something, you have to revise, you have to apply some mnemonic, and that is the way to go about it. As simple as that. So now I hope you basically know that whenever you're reading the world map, how do you read that? How do you recall that? That's very much important. ये बहुत important है. So in our free batch as well, we try to do that only. As I've already told you, the classes are free. And what you are supposed to do is you just have to pay the fee in order to get the course material and other stuff. So basically, if you want to just attend the live class, it is absolutely going to be free for you. In fact, in the description, you can certainly see the link as well. जो link है, you can certainly see that, you know, the master class basically, you can fill in the Google form, which is there in the description. Everyone. Moving ahead. Now, let me tell you one thing. Whenever we talk about, you know, USA, North America basically, you see this Great Lakes. Can you see this Great Lakes? At times you get this question about Hudson Bay. So where do we have Hudson Bay? This can be a good question to you guys. So you should know it's in Canada. So when you go into Canada, here you know Labrador City, Ontario, yahan pe we have got what? Hudson Bay. This can be a good question. At times question comes, Baffin Bay is between which country? So here we have got, you know, Canada, and then we have got Greenland. So basically it is between Greenland and Canada. That is the Baffin Bay. Very simple points these are. Hello Bunty, how are you doing? So my point is that we have to have a basic point in our mind, and trust me, that ways we are going to have a good level of clarity and understanding. Very important. At times I tell you, you know, in various exams I have seen this question which is worth discussing here. Very important question this is. You know about whenever we talk about different grasslands of the world. For example, you have to understand one thing. Just hold on. Okay, so I think it should be visible now. Have a look at this. Steppe you're finding in Central Asia basically. So here we have got steppes. In Hungary you have pustas. Here we have pustas. In USA we have prairies. In South America we have pampas. Here in South Africa we have veld. In Australia we have downs. In New Zealand we have Canterbury Plains. So you can have a look, you know, match the following, or the pairing can be asked. Here in the China we have Manchuria grasslands as well. So basically these are what? These are the temperate grasslands. These are the temperate grasslands of the world. Direct question will be asked on this. So you have to remember this thing, which is of course very much important, that where all are we going to find the temperate grassland? That's very much important. So ये थोड़ा सा याद रखिएगा. Where we have steppes, where we have pustas, where we have prairies, where we have pampas, where we have velds, where we have downs, and where we have Canterbury Plains. It's as simple as that. So you need to certainly keep in your mind, that's very much important. Good evening Bunty, how are you doing? समझ आया? So मतलब see, this is simple use of maps. If you don't use map, you are not going to recall that in the examination. ये बात याद रखना, मतलब if you want to recall this in your examination, you need to use proper maps all the time. Vipul, Ankur, thank you so much. I hope you guys are getting this precisely. Everybody is understanding this aspect, which is very much important. So try to, integrate this in your preparation. This is temperate grassland. Similarly, tropical grasslands are also important. We'll talk about that as well. Okay, we'll certainly be talking about that as well. So when you talk about the tropical grasslands, what do we observe? We have, for example, savanna, very important. This is, just hold on. Here we have got savanna. So this question can be asked, that tropical, grassland ke example batao, you should know about that. Similarly, here we have tropical grasslands and the name is Llanos. Llanos is the name of the tropical grassland. This is again important. So basically, Llanos is, important. Then we have got savanna, which is important. In fact, Campos is important. So these are basically tropical grasslands. This is very important. Now let me tell you one thing. See, steppes is what? Temperate. Prairies is temperate. Veld is temperate. Down is temperate. Pampas is temperate. Hai na? So basically what we have in the tropical, savanna, we have got Llanos, Campos. So these are the what? Tropical grasslands. Yaad rakhna. These are what? These are the tropical grasslands. Very important this is. Llanos, Campos and savanna. Always remember this thing, that this is going to be very much important. This is the Campos. This question has been asked so many times. So you need to differentiate between both. If I draw a cross, then that is a temperate grassland. Where do we have cross? This is temperate. Again, this is temperate. 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 So you have to have this idea basically. Are you getting this or not? So see, again, you can do that only with the help of maps. Without maps, it's going to be very much challenging. So आपको maps से करना ये बहुत ज़्यादा आवश्यक है. It's very much important in that case. I hope it's clear to you guys. Sorted? Chalo. Moving ahead. Now I'll tell you about, the places in news which have been in news for so many reasons. We'll certainly be talking about that as well. Okay. So I'm sure that again is going to give you holistic clarity. Having said that, but I'll take you to the Middle East. For example, here. When I take you to the Middle East, you have a look. Can you see that? Now, a simple question comes at times, that what connects Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea? Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea are connected. But how are they connected? They are connected by the Suez Canal. You know Suez Canal? Very much important. Okay. Now, when we talk about the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, passing by the Yemen, we have to pass through a narrow strait, a narrow passage, which is known as Bab al-Mandeb. So you should know, where is Bab al-Mandeb? It is between Djibouti and Yemen. And why was it in a lot of news? Because of Houthis rebels. Houthis were doing what? Yes, absolutely. What were Houthis doing? Houthis were attacking the ships. Houthis were attacking the ships on regular basis. And that is why this area was in a lot of news. This is a choke point. But you can use any atlas, Orient Blackstone or Oxford. Now you should understand that Gulf of Aden to Red Sea, you go by Bab al-Mandeb. It's very much important. Now let me tell you one thing. This choke point is Strait of Hormuz. So Strait of Hormuz is connecting what? Here we have got what? Persian Gulf. Can you see that? Persian Gulf. And here what we have got? Here we have Gulf of Oman. Gulf of Oman. So always remember that Gulf of Oman and Persian Gulf is going to be connected by this Strait of Hormuz. So a lot of people get confused between Bab al-Mandeb and Strait of Hormuz, which you are not supposed to get confused. Always keep this thing in your mind, that Gulf of Oman and Persian Gulf is connected by Strait of Hormuz. Iran and Oman and UAE, this tri-junction. And when you come to the south of it, we have Gulf of Aden being connected with Red Sea by Bab al-Mandeb, and further Suez Canal is connecting it with the Mediterranean Sea. This is a very important trade route of the world. So a lot of ships get impacted because of any rift which is happening in this particular area. इस एरिया में कुछ भी झमेला होता है तो बहुत सारे शिप्स को इम्पैक्ट झेलना पड़ता है. all across the globe, we see the repercussions going on, and that is very much important. Is that clear? All the people out there, I hope you're getting this point very, very precisely. Simple. Moving ahead, shall we? Okay, sorted. So, having said that, so as we have already talked about, just hold on. Okay, I think this map is furthering that particular thing only. Here we have what? Red Sea. Here we have what? Gulf of Aden. What is connecting both this choke point? That is Bab el-Mandeb Strait, as I've already told you. Bab el-Mandeb Strait kahan pe hai? On one side we have Djibouti, on one side we have Yemen. So this is important countries these are. So yahan pe what we have? Houthis rebels. So now this is a region in news. This is a region in news. That's what you need to keep in your mind. ये region या ये area क्या news में. So that's why we are reading about it. So what I certainly tell to my students is that you don't need to panic in the examination. Whenever certain question comes, you have to remember that it must be news. Ultimately, you have to keep in your mind that it has to be news only, then it is being asked. Otherwise, they are not going to ask that. Manav, thank you so much. So similarly, Gulf of Oman, say यहाँ पे we have Strait of Hormuz and Middle East Gulf, Persian Gulf. So basically it's going there. I hope this idea is very much clear. So you have to have this basic knowledge about regions in news, places in news. That's what my idea is, that I have to tell you this. I hope it's clear. Similarly, we have to keep in our mind, if sometimes a tragedy strikes somewhere, it can be tsunami, it can be earthquake, it can be anything. So you have to be again very much clear about this particular aspect, that how do you read about it, that particular region basically. For example, we saw an unfortunate earthquake did strike Turkey. So, Turkey-Syria border basically it was. So basically we have this region known as Kharman region, that is called Marash region also. So when you talk about the Turkey-Syria border, so here we have got this particular region towards the side of Turkey. It was a very bad earthquake, of course. So you got to keep this in your mind, that this particular earthquake was very much deadly. So if I talk about this particular map, you can have a look. This is Kharman Maras. We have got place called Gaziantep also. It was on a lot of news. So this is the border. So here we have Turkey. Here we have here we have Syria. Here we have Turkey. So on the side of the Turkey, we saw a lot of damage happening. Simple point. So again, you are supposed to keep this very thing in your mind, that how do we decode that? If that particular region is in news, so you have to certainly decode this precisely. Getting it? Very important this is. And if we are not able to do that, then of course we are at fault. समझ आ रहा है? मतलब see, I am just telling you that how you are supposed to read it, how you are supposed to analyze it. This is important. Thank you, Vipul. Thank you so much. Having said that, bete, for example, I'll take you again to the Middle East. There is a very important country these days, that is Saudi Arabia. You know about Saudi Arabia? Everybody knows about Saudi Arabia. When you talk about the Saudi Arabia, then you have to understand one thing, that in Saudi Arabia, you go to the northwest side, we have a place, they are developing an area known as NEOM. It's called NEOM project, NEOM development. So basically, you have to know that where exactly is NEOM. It's in Saudi Arabia. If I bring you this particular map, you can have a look. It's a futuristic city, beautiful city. So what we have in the NEOM, we have the Line project, Oxagon, Trojana. So this has been in a lot of news basically, and that is in Saudi Arabia. So of course, it is having a border with Gulf of Aqaba, and it's basically in the northwestern side of Saudi Arabia. So of course, if that has been in a news, it is very much important. Simple baat hai ye to. Matlab, this certainly is important, no? That's why it has been a lot of news. So keep a tab on these things, because they are going to be very much important. So yes, you have to know that NEOM project is very much important. It's there in Saudi Arabia. It's of much importance for you guys. Everyone. आपके लिए क्या है ये? बहुत ज़्यादा important है. Getting it? Thank you, Tushar, Rajiv, Manav, Vipul, Bunty, Driga, Sai. Everybody is on the same page, right? So you have to have this wonderful clarity on all these things, because it has been in news and this will be asked in the question. In any particular question it can be asked, so you have to know this. For example, we all are aware of this fact that Ukraine and Russia war, it has been, in news for all the bad reasons. So UNESCO designated Odessa. There's a site called Odessa as World Heritage Site in danger. Now, where is Odessa? Let's try to understand that. Odessa, it's in the southern part of Ukraine. So in the Ukraine, south of Ukraine, we have Odessa. Can you see that? Simple point. Now, only if you have followed the news, you will know that. But you have to trace that in the map. And when you trace that, you have to trace Luhansk, you have to trace Donetsk, you have to trace Mariupol, you have to trace Kherson as well, Ziziporia. These are all the places in Ukraine, even Crimea, which has been annexed by Russia in 2014. So you have to keep this in your mind that Ukraine's Odessa has been designated as World Heritage Site in danger. Very much important this is. Kiev is the capital, of course, we know that. So simple point this is. So this question will come, Odessa will be, you have to match the following types. So match the following, this question can be there and you have to match it successfully, which can be there in the question right away. And you have to do it without any second thought, because if you take so much time in these questions, you are going to be losing a lot of time. There are some questions in which you don't waste time. बहुत सारे questions में आप time wastage नहीं करेंगे, ये बात याद रखेंगे. Very important this is. समझ आ रहा है बेटे? सबको clear हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है? ये बता दो. मतलब these are some things which no book is going to tell you. You have to keep this in your mind. For example, let me tell you one thing. Two volcanoes were basically in a lot of news. Okay, these two volcanoes were in a lot of news. Shivluch and Sopka. These were in a lot of news. So basically, we saw in news that volcanic activities in Kamchatka Peninsula was observed. Now, what is Kamchatka Peninsula? It is basically in Russia. In Russia, northeastern part, here massive peninsula is known as Kamchatka Peninsula. Kamchatka Peninsula it is. So you have to better keep this thing in your mind that Kamchatka Peninsula is in Russia. And here we have got what? Volcanic activities. So question will come like that. They will simply ask you that Kamchatka Peninsula was in a lot of news. Where is it based? So they can maybe give you, the match the following. This particular plateau, this country, Kamchatka Peninsula, this country. So you have to know that Kamchatka Peninsula has to be joined with what? It has to be associated with Russia, as simple as that. So trust me, these questions have been asked in the past and they will be asked in the future as well. This is what we are supposed to understand. Simple point. So again, I really don't think that these are the kind of the questions which will pose any sort of problem for you, because they are going to be very much important. Simple and straightforward points. Moving ahead. Now, when we talk about, Pacific Ring of Fire, you must have heard about that. You can simply see this is Kamchatka Peninsula here. This is the Kamchatka Peninsula. आया समझ में? सबको clear है? Okay. I'll take you to one more site then. If this is clear till here, then we'll go to one more site. I would like to talk about this island known as Sinai Island. You can read that. Sinai Island, which is in Middle East, to be precise, UAE, United Arab Emirates, near Abu Dhabi, Dubai area. Sinai Island. So one old pearl, pearl collection site. From the old times, it is very much active. It is still, people are inhabiting this particular site. Very much important this is. It's called Sinai Island. So you will be having a straight away question in the examination that what exactly Sinai Island, what is the level of Sinai Island in terms of importance. You should know that. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you so much. So again, since it was in a lot of news and since its discovery was very, very prominent, bete, that everybody was like, okay, where is Sinai Island, where is Sinai Island? So that's why I'm bringing it for you guys. So you should know that Sinai Island, which is there in Persian Gulf and one of the oldest pearling town in the region, you can see Sinai Island is in UAE. Simple point. So the question will be simple. Question will be, ki, bhai, where is Sinai Island located? You tell me. As simple as that. So you have to have this clarity that how exactly we can do that. Getting it? How do you do that? That's very much important. Simple and straightforward point this is. when I talk about India, bete, so especially the northern part of India, I will make a very important observation. You know, this is Ladakh. Okay, this is Jammu and Kashmir, roughly. Anyways, now you know, here we have Sikkim. Sikkim is having border with how many countries? 3 countries. Nepal, Bhutan and China. Similarly, same, when we talk about Arunachal Pradesh, it is having border with Bhutan, China and Myanmar. Similarly, if I talk about West Bengal, it shares border with Bangladesh, it shares border with Bhutan, it shares border with Nepal. Similarly, if I talk about Ladakh, it shares border with Pakistan, Afghanistan and China. So you have to know that these UTs and states are having borders with 3 countries each. This question has been asked. So always remember, it is Sikkim, it is Arunachal Pradesh, it is West Bengal and it is Ladakh who share border with 3 countries at one time. Again, only if you have studied map properly, you will be able to answer these questions. Otherwise, you cannot answer these questions by fluke. Am I right or not? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा? मतलब these are very important things which you are supposed to be understanding precisely. I hope that makes some sense to you, everyone. Thank you group, thank you everyone. So again, you know, बहुत basic से points हैं और आपको बस इन चीजों को एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ पढ़ना है. Once you have done that, you are good to go. As simple as that. Thank you तुषार, thank you so much. समझ आ रहा है ना सबको? तो बस इतनी ही चीज है और मतलब कुछ भी नहीं करना है आपको. थोड़ा सा बस अपना प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड जो है उसको क्या करना है, इंप्रूव करना है. एंड यू विल बी एबल टू डू दैट. मूविंग अहेड, फॉर एग्जांपल, this was in a lot of news, bete. Chitwan National Park. Chitwan National Park was in a lot of news. Where it is located? It's located in Nepal. You know, we have got various research sites. It's called Royal Chitwan National Park. It is also called Royal Chitwan National Park. Simple. So only if somebody have read that, if somebody have a basic idea about it, they will be able to do it. नहीं तो नहीं हो पाएगा. Simple and straightforward point this is. So keep this thing in your mind that okay, we have to read anything and everything in the news with the help of a proper map. क्या करना है? मैप से पढ़ाई करनी है. A lot of times, you know, this particular question comes into the mind that how do we remember this particular thing? Have a look. So can you see this map of India? Now you have to keep this very thing in your mind that Tropic of Cancer is passing through how many states? This can be a very valid question. It has been asked before as well. So you just have to remember this trick. Rajiv Gandhi made Chief Justice wait for the meeting. Simple point. So when you remember this thing, or when you reach here, so you know where is Rajiv Gandhi means Rajasthan, Gujarat. Made means Madhya Pradesh. Chief Justice means Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. Wait का क्या हो गया? West Bengal. द का क्या हो गया? त्रिपुरा. और मीटिंग का हो गया मिजोरम. So basically, Rajiv Gandhi made Chief Justice wait for the meeting. As simple as that. So how many states we have got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in total, 8 states are there in India through which the Tropic of Cancer passes. Kark Rekha as we call it in Hindi. Tropic of Cancer. So again, मतलब, do you really think it's that difficult? क्या ये मुश्किल है? I really don't think it's that difficult. It's very much basic. It's very much to the point. So we have to know that these mnemonics can be deployed. You're studying any world map, you're studying any Indian map. So you can certainly deploy these things and they will be of utmost importance. है ना? Ashok, Manav, Tushar, the group, Rajiv, Raghav, Tushar, everyone. I hope, you know, I'm able to explain this thing to each and every one of you. Because again, you know, you guys have come with great hopes that you are here to learn something, and I'm trying to make sure that you learn something out of this particular class. That's important. Ji. Moving ahead. So, you know, this particular topic, as I tell you, this is one of the most important topic when you talk about the Indian maps. बहुत बार ये questions आपको directly आएंगे. So you have to know that how do we remember, how do we, you know, keep it in our mind. A lot of things are there, so we have to keep it in your mind precisely. I hope it's clear. So for example, abhi recently Israel was in a lot of news, we all know that. So when we talk about the Israel, I'll certainly be showing you a map. Have a look at this. Can you see that? So here at times they ask the question, Dead Sea is between which countries? So you should know it is between Jordan and Israel. Where is Gaza Strip? You should know it is there. Gaza Strip is within Israel, but here it shares border with Egypt. So यहाँ पे क्या Egypt है, you know that. So it has an opening in Egypt as well. Israel is on Mediterranean Sea, you should know that. Basic points. All these are basic points only, we have to know that. So in a way, if I take you to this map in detail, have a look at this. Can you see that? So question comes, where is Sinai Peninsula? Now you tell me, where is Sinai Peninsula? It's in Egypt, right? Sinai Peninsula, it's in Egypt. You can see that on a map. At times, you know, COP happened in Sharm el-Sheikh. This is a place called Sharm el-Sheikh in the southern part of Peninsula, Sinai Peninsula. You should know that this is what Gulf of Aqaba. This red line is Gulf of Aqaba, very important. So it is shared by, you know, Israel, Jordan. Basically, this is very much important stretch. This is Red Sea and Suez Canal takes you to Mediterranean Sea. So that's very much important. So we have already talked about this particular thing. So you have to know that in this region, which country is where, and all these, you know, strategically important things are there, which you need to be keeping in your minds. एक basic idea आपको mind में रखना है. Very good, Raghav. Thank you so much. Ashok, see, what I am telling you is that you have to keep these things in your mind so that in exam, whenever these things come, you should be able to answer that. So this region has been in so much news that we can't afford to ignore that. If I, you know, just hold on. Okay, if I just zoom it more, you would be able to see this line. Here if I go, I'll have Suez Canal, of course. Here, if I go, I'll have Gulf of Aqaba. This is Gulf of Aqaba. Okay. So this is Eilat port, very much important port for Israel. So you should know that. And here we have got Jordan's port as well, the Aqaba port. And this is Israel. And you can see this is Gaza Strip. From Gaza Strip, you can go to Sinai Peninsula, which is in Egypt. Okay. And then Dead Sea. I have already told you Jordan and Israel ke beech mein we have got Dead Sea. Here we have Golan Heights as well. So you can see how important maps are in order to learn something, in order to understand something. Without maps, I would say it is going to be very much challenging for anybody to learn any place in news precisely. You can't learn any place in news till the time you have a proper map of it. For example, at times, you know, the question comes for Aral Sea. So Aral Sea ka jo question aata hai, you have to just keep one thing in your mind. Have a look at this. So can you see it? In the Central Asia, there is a country called Kazakhstan. Then there is a country known as Uzbekistan. And here we have got Aral Sea, which is sandwiched between both these countries, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. So Kazakhstan is massive country with the capital Astana. Uzbekistan is again very important country with the capital Tashkent. So you should know that, as simple as that. Caspian Sea, I've already told you, Tariq. Similarly, Aral Sea, it's a very small sea. We should know. And there's a very famous lake called Lake Balkash. I'll just tell you. Just hold on. Can you see it all? In the Central Asia, one of the most important lake is Lake Balkash. Have a look. In which country we have it? Kazakhstan. Issyk-Kul Lake, it's in Kyrgyzstan. You can see how easy it becomes through the map. Issyk-Kul is in Kyrgyzstan. It is not that important, but Lake Balkash is very much important, which is in Kazakhstan. Lake Balkash is very much important, which is in Kazakhstan. You have to keep it in your minds. चलो, कोई डाउट किसी को है तो प्लीज मुझे बता दो. मतलब कोई अगर इतना सा भी डाउट हो आपको, छोटा सा डाउट भी हो तो प्लीज मुझे बताइएगा. थैंक यू मानव, थैंक यू राजीव, थैंक यू तुषार. सो मतलब थिंग्स आर मैनेजेबल. आई होप थिंग्स आर वेरी मच मैनेजेबल. दैट इज व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन. तो why I am zooming this so much, so that you are in a position to understand this idea that how do we recall these things in the examination. This is the way we have to look at. For example, I'll tell you something. When you go to South America, bete, South America mein you can have a look at this map. Can you see it? So in your atlas, you can certainly open that. Here we have Bolivia. Here we have Peru. So between Bolivia and Peru, we have a lake known as Lake Titicaca. So when we talk about the Lake Titicaca, why is it so much important? This is Lake Titicaca between Bolivia and Peru. Why is Lake Titicaca so much important? Because it is certainly the highest navigable lake in the world. दुनिया के सबसे highest navigable lake जो है, it is Lake Titicaca. It's very much important. I hope it's clear. Lake Titicaca, we have to keep it in our minds. Got it? So where is Lake Titicaca now, you know? So when you talk about the Bolivian-Peru border, here we have, and its USP is that it's the highest navigable lake which we have in the world. दुनिया की सबसे ऊंची navigation जिस पे किया जा सकता है वो lake है हमारी Lake Titicaca. So yeah, that is certainly important. Simple point. For example, at times, you know, Lake Baikal पे question बनता है. When we talk about this Lake Baikal, why is Lake Baikal so much important? Because Lake Baikal is the deepest lake in the world and the largest freshwater lake by volume. So this is Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal is in Russia. Again, very much important lake. You can have a look. Very beautiful lake this is in Russia. Lake Baikal, deepest lake in the world. When you talk about that is Lake Baikal. It can be asked in the examination as well. Exam में direct question can be asked. Clear hai? So again, you know, about international rivers, peaks, lakes, borders, all these things, you know, Gulf's important border, that is what you need to, study in the maps. And trust me, maps ki study karna, cost to benefit ratio is very good, because whatever you study, it's going to be asked in the examination. There's a high chance it will be asked directly in the examination. So whatever you study, it is not going to go in vain. It is not going to be wasted at all. So whatever you study, it is going to be of much help. And that is what I always feel, you know, these are the type of points you need to keep in mind. We'll do the questions in some other session. The type of the questions we'll certainly be doing in some other session. But I am hopeful that you are able to understand the kind of nature of this particular subject, of this particular topic, which is important. क्या nature है इसका, ये समझ में आया कि नहीं आया, ये मुझे बता दो. ठीक है. ओके राजीव, बहुत बढ़िया. ठीक है मानव, समझ आया. बंटी, you got this idea or not? So I'm just trying my level best in order to give you proper glimpse. Again, I would like to make this announcement, as I did in the beginning as well, that you all can attend this particular batch, and the best part is it is free of cost. It is giving you free live class. Free live classes 8 to 10 p.m. But in order to get all these features, you have to pay 20,000 rupees. Other than that, live classes are absolutely free of cost. The live classes hain, they're absolutely free of cost. In order for you to avail the PDFs, in order for you to avail the recorded access and all these things, you have to be buying the batch. Otherwise, the classes are absolutely free. So you can certainly do that, or probably consider that as well. Chaliye, so thank you so very much. I hope that you guys are understanding these points precisely. सबको मतलब समझ आया कि नहीं आया ये मुझे बता दें. चलिए, so it was great having this session. I hope you have enjoyed the class very much. You have gained something out of the class, which is very much important. So see, in a way, all these classes are basically meant to help you learn things in a precise manner. But they are not on YouTube. You can fill the form which is there in the description. Then you will come to know that. Peace point. There is a form which you can probably fill if you guys are interested. Then the team will be certainly contacting you. It's in the description itself. So मतलब मैं वही आपको बताता हूँ हमेशा कि कभी भी कोई भी चीज़ है उसको आप पढ़ते हो तो try to know that you have to imbibe that, you have to grasp that properly. और वो तभी होगा जब आप ट्रिक्स वगैरह निमोनिक्स को यूज़ करोगे. थैंक यू अंकुर, थैंक यू बंटी, थैंक यू जगरूप, थैंक यू पीस पॉइंट, thank you Tushar, everyone, thanks a lot, means a lot. Thank you so much. So that's very much from my side, and I'll wrap this session up for now. Take care everyone. Do share it with your friends if you found it useful. Bye bye.